It's light time. It's light time. The right time is light time. Rays of light can enter anywhere, spreading happiness we all can share. And heart can grow to fill your heart. It's light time, light time. The right time is light time.
The way the cookie crumbles. I don't know if you know it or not, but what we were watching there was a scientific experiment. Take a boy and a cookie jar on a shelf, and there's a powerful invisible force that draws them together. You know what that force is called? Temptation. Have you ever felt it? Appears in a lot of different forms and in a lot of different situations. What are you doing?
Jim, what's going on here?
Well, we're just showing the kids a few situations using that invisible force I was talking about. Temptation.
It sounded more like somebody dropping a bomb on a supermarket.
A little noise never hurt anybody. Keep you awake on the show.
What's going on over there, Jim?
Hey, who's over there?
Larry and Margaret, we surrender.
Oh, come on, you two. It wasn't that bad.
We were only having a little fun, Jim. In fact, we were watching all the time.
Well, you two think you learned anything?
Well, we know all about temptation, Jim.
Yeah, but what we need to know is, how can we stay away from it? Or keep from giving in to it?
Well, that's a good question, but before we can answer it, we need to know a little bit more about temptation.
You mean what we saw isn't enough?
Not exactly. Let's see. Well, for example, do you ever give in to temptation?
Yeah, everybody has. Haven't they?
I guess so. I know I have. How did it happen to you?
I don't know. One time, I was just sitting there in school. I finished all my work. There was nothing to do. So I knew that time was going to drag and drag and drag. Nothing to do. The time's just going to drag and drag. Boy, is Frank slow. Of course, if I was that slow, I'd have something to do. He sure got a beautiful bike. I wish I had a bike like his.
Where'd you get the bike, Larry? Yeah, where'd you get the bike, Larry? That's his bike. Look, it's got 2 different gear shifts. How many different speeds does it go, Larry? A handbrake. And look at the parcel carrier. Show 'em how light those English bikes are, Larry. Wow.
Some of us seem to be a little bored today. Did you hear what I said, Larry?
No, ma'am, I didn't.
I asked if you'd finished your assignment.
Yes, ma'am, I have.
You know you can take one of the library books from my desk when you finish your assignment.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, before the bell rings, I'd like to ask all of those who haven't finished their assignments to stay a while this afternoon. We'd like to start on a new unit tomorrow.
Racer. Look, it's got 2 different gear shifts. How many different speeds does it go, Larry? Where'd you get the bike, Larry? Yeah, where'd you get it?
Where did you get the bicycle, Larry?
I took it back, Jim. I didn't really steal it. I started to, but
If Larry hadn't been daydreaming, maybe he wouldn't have taken the bicycle, would he?
Well, who can tell exactly? I do know this, though. Daydreaming about things that belong to other people, or daydreaming about being important just because you own something special, does weaken your resistance. You know, God expects you to do what's right, not only in the way you act, but in the way you think. Now, thinking is important, especially where temptations are concerned. If you try hard, you can learn to control your thoughts, learn to think about the right things.
My mother says we should try to keep busy doing worthwhile things. She says a person who's interested in doing things keeps out of trouble.
And your mother's right, too. If you start loafing away all your time, you're bound to start thinking much. Start thinking about yourself too much, and it's awful easy to start feeling sorry for yourself. And feeling sorry for yourself makes it very easy to give in to temptation.
I know something that helps us to keep away from temptation, Jim.
Go ahead.
My dad says to ask God to help you by praying.
I should have mentioned that first, because that's one of the most effective ways to fight temptation.
Jim, what do you do if the thing is so great you just can't keep from giving in to it?
Well, there's no thing that great, Elaine. See, St. Paul says in the Bible, God will not let you be tempted beyond your strength. So don't be afraid, dear. Just say to yourself, God will not give me any problems that are too big for me to handle with his help. And you know what? Every time you turn away from doing what's wrong, you'll find that doing what's right will be easier the next time. Say, what happened to Digby?
He's been over there writing a letter or something.
I have written a poem on temptation.
What?
A poem on temptation. A poem with a message. Temptation. An original poem by Digby B. Duck. That's me. Temptation is a magnet that draws you into sin. Temptation is a magnet that draws you into sin.
Yes.
Temptation is a magnet.
You said that.
Twice.
Yes, twice. Well, what's the rest?
What rhymes with magnet?
No. We'll see you next week, kids.
Rays of light can enter anywhere, spreading happiness we all can share. Heaven's glow of light right at the start can grow to fill your heart. It's lifetime, the right time is lifetime.
Have you ever thought of the marvelous electronic devices that bring aircraft in for safe landings nowadays? Great ships of the sky as well as the sea are guided safely to their destinations by beams of radar. No human eye can see the radar beam, and yet it is there, doing its effective work. Has it ever occurred to you that there's an unseen contact that you can make with God? That contact is prayer, in the name of Christ. Prayer is the best guidance system that has ever been given to man to bring him safely to his destination. You can pray wherever you are, but you can also join in prayer with others at church this week. Attend church.